Today I do want to speak about Barcelona's front three, which is going to be Raphinha, Lamine Yamal, and Lewandowski. Currently, Raphinha does have 15 games played with 11 goals and 7 assists. Lamine Yamal also has 15 with 6 goals and 8 assists. And then we do have Lewandowski with 15 games, 17 goals, and 2 assists. The reason why I want to bring this conversation up is because these numbers are amazing for Raphinha, Lamine Yamal, and Lewandowski. And the levels that they have reached, it's surprising because I do think that when we talk about this front three, they are higher than any other front three in the world, because there is, right, a front three that does exist, which is Kylian Mbappe, Vinicius, and Rodrigo. We can also sprinkle in Endrick and Goulet if you guys want to. And then at Bayern Munich, there's also another one that exists with Musiala, Olise, and Kane. And then we have Manchester City, which is not the most recognizable front three, but we do have Erling Haaland, Doku, and Foden. All of these players and these other front threes from other different teams were expected to be better than Barcelona's front three with Raphinha, Lamine Yamal, and Lewandowski because of multiple reasons, which was understandable. We even thought that, okay, this is going to be our main attackers. We don't know if they're going to be better than other front threes out there in Europe, but hopefully they end up being good because we did have our doubts. Raphinha is not the most technical player on the ball. Lamine Yamal is still only 16, 17 years old, and Lewandowski is about 36 years old. So they have no business being the best front three in the world, but they are. And to be honest, they have been playing so well together. If they continue to go down this way, most likely we could see a very historical season. Probably they might go down as one of the best in football. Now you still have the MSNs, right? The BBCs. We also had that front three of Liverpool of Salah, Mane, and Firmino. I don't know if this is going to be an attacking team that could surpass the MSN because, to be honest, I don't think anybody else can ever pass the MSN. But I do believe that as they continue to work together, they could come close. And in order for them to achieve greatness, they have to work hard and they have to be very disciplined, because when you compare the, like BBC, MSN, Salah, Mane, Firmino, like all those other different attacking teams, right? They were very technical on the ball and they were also in their prime. With Barcelona right now, it's very tricky because with Raphinha, yes, he is in his prime, but he is not the most technical. Lamine Yamal is only 16 or 17 years old and Lewandowski is nearing the end of his career. So it's a very tricky one, which is why I do think that we're probably going to see one historical season. I don't necessarily believe that this is going to be a front three that we could see for the next 3 to 4 years. It's a very temporary attack for Hansi Flick, but that's basically it, right? Like if we want Raphinha, Lamine Yamal, and Lewandowski to achieve great things like they have been doing in the past 4 months, they have to work very hard and be very disciplined. And this is also what Raphinha had to say before the match between Barcelona and Espanyol. Technique is useless without discipline. Many of my friends were better technically than me, but being an athlete is much more than just technique. You have to be aware that you will suffer if you don't stay away from parties, nightlife, and staying away from friends, etc. Technique is important, but it has to go hand in hand with work. So I'm glad to see that Raphinha is very self-aware on who he is. And I think that with his energy, it's going to spread through the team, and especially Lamine Yamal, because if Raphinha is showing great work ethic, Lamine Yamal is going to catch on that, and that is exactly what he does need. This is the reason why I'm also so proud that Raphinha is one of our captains, because he is a good example. And Lamine Yamal at 17 years old, he can easily lose his hunger. He can easily just say, oh look, I did this at the Euros, I did these goals with Barcelona, look at me, I'm all flashy. And you know how like it works, right? With these young players, sometimes they do lose that focus, but Lamine Yamal is going to feed off of Raphinha's energy, and Lamine Yamal is going to know that it's not just about the technique, it is also about the hard work and the discipline, and to always be 100% focused. If Lamine Yamal, right, has any type of ambition to say that he wants to be close to Messi or someone like Maradona, bro, Lamine, like you're gonna have to do this, right? Be very good for 1 season, but do it for the next 10 years, and then we might consider you as maybe one of the best ever in the history of football. Like Lamine Yamal is gonna have to do a lot. There is no reason for him to ever say within these next like 2 years to say that, oh, I've already completed football, look at what I did, look at the type of moves I made and the goals I made, look how important I was for Barcelona. No, you have to do this for the next 10 years, then my friend, you will be considered. So I do think that this is a very special attacking setup because it's a very temporary attack. I honestly really believe, like I know this is going to sound a little sad for you guys, but I have been saying this over the past like few months, this front three that we have right now is very temporary. Like Lewandowski in about a year and a half might not be the same. Lamine Yamal also, who is for sure going to be staying, is still 17 years old. In order for him to reach his prime, we're going to have to wait about 6 to 7 years, and Lewandowski is not going to be here by then. Same thing with Raphinha. And also, this front three should not even exist in the first place, because when we speak about, let's say for example, Liverpool, right? They had Salah, Mane, and Firmino. They were all in their primes. They all deserved to be there. So it made a lot of sense. With the BBC, which was Bale, Benzema, and Ronaldo, it also made sense, right? They were all in their primes, right? They were big time players. They were scoring goals. To Real Madrid, it made a lot of sense to line up with the BBC. And the same thing goes with the MSN. Messi was in his prime. Suarez was also in his prime, coming from Liverpool. Neymar was also the golden boy around that time. They deserved to be called the main front three at FC Barcelona. But when we talk about Lewandowski, Lamine Yamal, and Raphinha, it's just a whole other different, like, it's a whole other different thing. Lamine Yamal was not supposed to be here because in the first place, right, Dembele was supposed to be here, not Lamine Yamal. But then, obviously Barcelona could not afford Dembele, and Dembele just went to PSG. Lewandowski, he's 36, 37 years old. You know who else is 36 or 37 years old? Messi and Suarez. Lewandowski is still here, so it's very surprising. And then we have Raphinha, where everybody said that Raphinha is good, but he's not going to be Barcelona material, nor starter material, because he's not technical enough. So like, this front three is not even supposed to exist. Hansi Flick is supposed to be having a very different front three, but here we are, right? And Hansi Flick has been working wonders with the players that he does have, and so it is, in my opinion, an anomaly. And also, what makes this front three so special? Let's first talk about Lamine Yamal. When he first started, he was a great dribbler, right? In the first year that we saw him under Xavi Hernandez, a great dribbler. We're like, okay, this guy knows how to provide key passes, he knows how to pass the ball. But one of the weaknesses that we saw was his composure in front of goal. Usually we saw him like slip when he was about to shoot, or shoot the ball over the goalkeeper, or shoot the ball straight to the goalkeeper. It was normal. Like, none of us were mad, right? Because he was only 16, 17 years old. For him to make such mistakes and not be composed in front of goal was very, very normal. Because honestly, we were mesmerized by the way that Yamal was playing, because not even Messi could have done this at 16 years old. But this season now that we're in, right, fast forward 1 year later, he is much better in front of goal. And not just that, but he also knows how to defend and help Jules Koundé. And now that I think about it, thank God Dembele left, right? It was a blessing in disguise, because Xavi betted on Dembele. Xavi wanted Dembele to stay here for another 3 to 4 years to renew with Barcelona. But since Dembele left, Lamine Yamal took his place, and we have something even better and something generational. I believe that Lamine Yamal has the same level of Dembele when it comes to creativity and being a great dual winner. But I also don't think that Yamal has the same speed as Dembele, but to be honest, it does not even matter, because his trajectory is making up for it. And Lamine Yamal is just so much better in goal. He knows how to score goals. He looks very deadly. As for Lewandowski, what makes him so special, right? I think that this season he is at his prime. He's dangerous. He's clinical. For him to do this at 37 or 36 years old, I'm sorry that I keep saying 37 or 36. I just don't know. I don't know exactly what is his correct age, but he is in his mid 30s. But he is going to definitely beat his last season numbers, because last season he had 26 goals and 9 assists. He's very close, if not halfway there, 4 months in this season, with the goals and assists that he does have now. His shooting stats is also very good, with 44 shots in total taken, 24 of them being on target, which does give him a shot accuracy of 54.5%, and 5 shots did hit the woodwork. He also does have 1 hat-trick already, which was against Alaves under 25 minutes, and currently his average playing time is around 80 minutes. Hansi Flick is very careful with the minutes of Lewandowski and does not want to overextend him and make him play 90 minutes in every game. Usually he does get taken out on the 80th minute, if not before. And then lastly, we do have Raphinha. Now here's the thing, right? With this one, it is the most interesting, because if you want to see the playing style difference of Barcelona, watching Raphinha would really give you a great idea on how Barcelona do play now. Because look, under Xavi Hernandez, the team overall played very careful, very calm. They did not want to lose the ball. They were not high risk at all. Xavi usually said, okay, look, we're going to score 1 to 2 goals, and then we have to be very careful and not lose the game. We cannot give the opposition any sort of opportunity. So we played very reserved. We had to be very careful with the ball, and with Raphinha, it did not suit him at all, because Xavi was all about possession, circulating the ball, being in control. Raphinha did not really like that. Now, he did his best, but it was just not his best environment. And you can just tell that Raphinha, every time he did have the ball, he had to be very careful, because he did not want to lose possession, because Xavi Hernandez had those type of orders. But now with Hansi Flick, if you look at Raphinha, he plays much more direct, very high risk, has a lot of long balls, he makes runs from behind, and Hansi Flick has this version of Barcelona doing all of that. It's not just Raphinha, but Raphinha benefits from it the most. The Bayern game is always going to be a good example. Look at the way that Lamine Yamal and Pedri, right, attract the players, making them lose focus on Raphinha. Raphinha always makes those runs from the other side, leaving a lot of open space for him to do damage, and that is what he does best. And this version of Barcelona is very good at scoring goals off of only 1 to 3 touches, right? It can easily go from Kobarsi to Pedri, and then Pedri to Raphinha, and that's it. It's a goal. Very direct. Or Raphinha can receive the ball from the middle of the pitch, make a long ball to Lamine Yamal on the right flank, he crosses it towards Lewandowski, and that's it. Goal. It is just 1 to 3 touches, and that's it. Raphinha loves this. I remember there was a moment during the season where he did gain the ball. He only took 1 touch, made a cross into the box immediately, and Lewandowski barely missed that ball that could have ended being a goal. Raphinha also wanted to speak about this, right? So this whole thing about playing fast, being much more direct, high risk, and so this is what he said, and I quote, "The most important thing is knowing what you're going to do before the ball reaches you, having the whole field mapped out. You have to take your eyes off the ball to look at everything happening around you. People who achieve this are geniuses. Decision making speaking is very difficult. We have less than a second to make a decision. In the end, what you think is the best on the field, people outside see differently. On the field, you only have two eyes, your own. Those on the outside can see everything. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I strongly believe the main reason why Raphinha is really clicking with Hansi Flick's Barcelona is because of two events that did happen. It's only my theories, right? I'm not saying that this is true, but it is only my theories. I believe that two things really did push him. Point number one, when he saw all the posts about Nico Williams taking on the number 7 jersey, which was his number, and he did not like that. He said, how are you guys going to be talking about Nico when he's not even a Barcelona player, and you guys think that he's going to just automatically replace me on the pitch? Raphinha took that very personal. And then maybe, which is going to be point number two, another thing that really did push him was the Saudi Arabia rumors, how there were many teams in Saudi Arabia wanting Raphinha, and they were willing to pay top dollar for Raphinha and pay him a lot of in terms of wages. And he saw the reaction coming from the Barcelona fan base saying that we should sell him, that this is going to be an easy sell, that we should sell Raphinha and buy these other two players from Bayern or City or whatever. And Raphinha did not like that. He wanted to make history at Barcelona, and that is the reason why he is playing so effectively right now and making it click with Lewandowski and Lamine Yamal. But that is only my theories. I think that in the end, this is only a win for all players, for Hansi Flick, and especially for us, because Barcelona do seem very unstoppable at the moment. And right now, we can safely say that Barcelona do have the best front three in the world with Raphinha, Lamine Yamal, and Lewandowski. We'll see if Real Madrid can get their act together, have some sort of self-reflection, and get the best out of themselves, right? With Mbappe, Vini, Rodrigo, Bellingham, and so forth. But that is it. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.